So hello team, so welcome to this another session. So it's regarding the WordPress cross-site scripting to sell. So what is this XSS cross-site scripting to remote code execution? What is the pre-authentication WordPress, and what is this all about CVE-2026-64638? So when we discuss about the severity scores along with what is the affected version in this, and a brief summary and the attack chain that is even been involved in this, so we'll be discussing each and everything in details. Okay, so let us begin regarding the severity, which stands at a CVSS score of 8.9. And coming to the versions, right, so even all the WordPress versions are been impacted in this. And what is the released patch which is even been identified, that is WordPress 7.0.3 version. Okay, so older version which is impacted, that is 4.7, that is vulnerable, not even been supported. So this is the executive summary, folks. So what is the executive summary stands for, what it actually says. So an authenticated attacker can trigger a reflected cross-site scripting on a login page. Okay, so even if an administrator is logged in and click an attacker, okay, click on an attacker control page, the attacker can even obtain, okay, application password, even it resets, accesses the plugin, uploads, and the PHP code execution, and take full control of the website. So this is the executive summary that is even been identified. Okay, again I started repeating it to make you understand much more better. So an authenticated attacker, okay, so can even trigger a reflected cross-site scripting, okay, on login page. Okay, if an administrator is logged in and click on the attacker control page, the attacker can even obtain the application password, can eventually leads to a reset, access, and plugin uploads, PHP code execution, and even take full control of the website. So this is the executive summary of how the WordPress been vulnerable. So let us discuss and move further to discuss about the attack chain that is even been involved, right? So here the authenticated attacker, then it eventually leads to pre-authentication reflected cross-site scripting. Then it has the third number point that actually signifies the DOM cribbling. Okay, so we need to understand, right, the DOM cribbling as well. So to make sure everything are in good mode, everything are in good hygiene. So I request you, please go through this DOM cribbling, what actually it is. So you will be getting much more understanding about this, even if I explain, it takes time. Okay, so then it eventually leads to WordPress JavaScript abuse. Then the reset, JSON execution happens. Eventually, sixth point says about the sixth phase of the attack chain, says about same login method execution. Administrator password, approves the application password. Then it resets the API authentication, uploads the malicious plugin, and requests plugin to the file. Okay, then remote code execution. So this is the attack chain that is even been involved. Then discussion regarding the root cause, why pre-authentication, DOM cribbling, and fourth is all about abuse of user profile. So even I have made you confirm about, or made you display about what this DOM cribbling is. So let us discuss about the root cause of this. Okay, so when we discuss about the root cause, right, folks, here the username from a failed login password through multiple filters, okay, that actually interpret the HTML differently. Here the sanitizer user eventually leads to the VIP strip all tags and WP KS port. So then the PHP strip treat setting malform tags as plain text dot letter WP and intercept the same text as a valid HTML, or even I can say XSS or cross-site scripting. So here is the best example to make you understand about the root cause. Okay, the username from a failed login passes through a multiple filter that intercept HTML differently. Okay, here the string, even the white the white space after getter cause one parser to ignore it, while the another convert into live DOM element. Then why pre-authentication? Here the vulnerable code actually executes before a login. Okay, WP WordPress login PHP, and when authentication fails, the WordPress reflects the user back on the login page, no credential even been required. Okay, so then the DOM scrubbling occurs. Inject the HTML, overwrites the JavaScript variable except by WordPress. Here is the example of how it happens. Okay, WordPress JS reference, even I can start saying that. So instead of JS variable, the browser resolves it to the injected DOM element, then this called as DOM crumbling. Okay, so then let's discuss about the fourth is all about abuse on user profile.js. So here the login page loads user profile, because the password reset it present, but some expect profile element do not even exit. Okay, the missing elements here I have highlighted the pass1 and pass2, which are eventually been undefined. Okay, so coming to the equality check of the pass vulnerable or unexpected, and the attacker eventually controls a joel stealing password, JS to send the request to by the attacker. Okay, so then the reset JSONP abuse. The WordPress actually starts supporting, sorry for that. Yeah, the WordPress actually supports the JSON via JSONP, response or executable JavaScript. The get JSON, then 401 unauthorized execution, then get JSON employee envelope, which eventually leads to HTTP 200 envelope. So since jQuery receives the HTTP 200, it executes a response as a JavaScript. Okay, so the sixth is all about CSP bypass. Okay, it is we are in the end of the session, folks. So CSP bypass even says when the context security policy uses strict dynamic, the attacker still actually succeeds, because the JavaScript actually comes from the WordPress itself. Okay, no external script injection is even been required. Some technique even says that same origin method execution or SOME, okay, by Paul Clibo, instead of stealing cookies, the attacker invokes legitimate browser method on another same login browser. Okay, so this bypass made traditional cross-site scripting mitigation. So coming to the requirement and application password abuse, this is how admin click the approve WordPress generate application password, redirected to success URL, then attacker receives the application password, the attacker controls the success URL. Coming to the requirement, one is no login, no account, no cookies, logged in administrator, one click, default password. Okay, WordPress configuration. So this is the role authentication reset API, then plugin upload to RC. So what are the different requirements I have already highlighted here? So like you need to update it to the latest version, remove isolate the install older version, monitor for unexpected password creation. Along with that, review recent upload plugins, enable file integrity monitoring for the WordPress content plugin directory. Along with that, monitor logs for suspicious WP logins. We need to take mitigation steps that are also important. Okay, update immediately to WordPress, remove or isolate installation older version, that is already been highlighted, or requirement. In the requirement I have already highlighted. So impact, which is all about remote code, then complete website takeover, plugin installation, and data exfiltration.